Brett, you alluded to this a little bit earlier too, but with their choreography, the new choreography, you feel like that completely impacted and completely changed?
Oh, I think it changes the sport a ton. I mean, obviously it's faster, but what I'm most impressed about, and I tweeted this yesterday, the rear tire changer has the hardest job. I hate to say the hardest because the jackman jumps first and he can get run over. And all the choreography of the pit stop is based off the jackman, right? He's like the 5, 6, 7, 8 guy if you're a dancer. You know what I mean? Now we're going to start a routine. But if I'm the tire changer and I'm the rear tire changer, I'm literally chasing the car and I'm diving onto the concrete on my knees. Physically, it's tough on you. Performance-wise, it's the toughest part of the pit stop, in my opinion. So now, the way those two changers are jumping in front of the car, they're both like two front changers. The car is coming to them versus them having to chase the car. So I think that's a big advantage. And I think physically it saves a lot on their bodies because these guys get beat up. I mean, by the time if you're a long-term tire changer, by the time you hit 35, 40 years old, you're beat all to hell.
Yeah.
I don't know one that's not.
JGR fought for this. It wasn't allowed. They kind of fought to get it approved. It got approved. They got approved for this week was the first week. They used it. And they turned the fastest 4-tire pit stop in history of NASCAR. So guess what every pit crew in America is practicing this morning, I would assume. The proof is in the pudding right there. And we talk about tenths of a second is positions on pit road, especially under a yellow flag. So, it'll be interesting to see how it goes forward. Going into it, I had talked to some of my guys, namely Ryan Flores, a buddy of mine from, he tire changer at Penske, and they knew under perfect conditions and pit stop practice, it was 3 to 5 tenths faster than what the traditional pit stop was, but it had been unproven in race scenario. And there's a lot of factors that go into that, cars coming around, the weather, anything could be different. But they went out and proved that it was better. So, it'll be interesting to see going forward. My only concern with it when I watched the video was, will that front hose get run over by the guy pitting in front of that car? Because they swing that front hose out so wide that the guy can get around the front of the car to the right rear tire that it's essentially, we go to Martinsville this week, those are tight pit boxes. There's potential where that guy's changing that tire, a car can come in, hit that hose and rip the gun out of his hand or just alter the pit stop in some way. So it'll be interesting to see, especially early this week when there's a lot of cars in the lead lap, if we have a yellow flag pit stop, how that plays out, and if they even still do it.
My favorite part of this, TJ, is we're all being put every single year in a tighter and tighter and tighter box. JGR went out and spent millions of dollars on developing a pit gun that would be faster than everybody else's pit gun. And when they debuted it, holy cow, they were fast. Here again, they've spent a bunch of money because we're talking a lot of different guys training, a lot of cameras, a lot of technology, a lot of meetings to change the pit stop. Do you think NASCAR should be trying to limit how teams can spend their money?
No, I don't think on this subject. I don't, because they're not doing anything different. They're just going to set the bar for everyone's going to start doing it. I'm really curious this week at Martinsville how this is to me, it's a more risky pit stop for tight stalls. You go to somewhere with bigger stalls, and Martinsville is kind of spread out a little bit.
Big difference between Indy and Martinsville.
Well, that Richmond's pretty decent too, but Martinsville, man, that place is tight.
Yeah.
And I think, who knows? I think there's, like you said, there's a chance the hose gets run over by a car coming out.
Risk versus reward. It's just something different, and maybe they might be worried about the hose, like we said, or they might be worried about something else about the pit stop. Where
are you going to keep doing this if somebody runs over your hose and rips that gun out of there? Then you're, you go from top 5 to 25th.
Yeah. How much time are you gaining versus the risk of losing 2 seconds?
That's what I'm saying. Do you just stick with the safe way that doesn't put yourself in any danger, or maybe you pull this out at the end if you need a gain in a pit spot? You know what I mean? Maybe you switch it up. This is my last stop of the day. I'm running third. I'm going to try to come out with the lead. I'm going to do it.